Hello, welcome to the cottage. I am Babs with Cottage Road. This is my 10th Flosstube, and I am super excited to show you what I have been doing in this January so far. Well, first, I do want to go through my WIPS, but I also do have a kind of sort of finish, kind of, and as well as some stash and some other fun things. So let's get started. First, I do want to show you on New Year's Day, I worked on Infinite Christmas. I don't know if you can see this very well, but I worked on the whitish color here. This is not white. This is supposed to be ecru, and it comes up here and down here as well. If I have a before picture, I will put that in. I'm not sure I do. But this was supposed to be ecru color, but that was like perfectly invisible against this vintage opalescent fabric by BeStitchMe. It is I think 18 count, probably. And so I don't know if you can see it much, but I did manage to get the outline of where the city is going to be and kind of the snow on top of some of the buildings and the candles on this tree and then this one as well. So still lots to do on this, but for now, I'm going to put Infinite Christmas away until the WIP code number gets called. So again, Infinite Christmas by Barbara Anna Designs. And my next one is Lit by the Artsy Housewife. So I got a little bit more done on this one. And again, if I have a before picture, I'll put that in here for you right now. But I managed to get the antlers, some of the Christmas lights around here. And this is, of course, using the Pirate and Robin floss conversion on 18 count pistachio by Atomic Ranch. So I love this, but again, they'll be put away until the WIP code number gets called and or, December. And then I also started 2 new projects. And my first one was from A Year in the Woods by Carriage House Designs. And this is the fox right here. I love this pattern. It's very dense, but it's absolutely fantastic. Super fun. And let me pull this out of the project bag here because I have been working on it. And we see here, we have the front part of the fox, the torso, and this goes down into the leg here. And we got this lovely little pattern on there. I love this. This is absolutely fantastic. I got my fox needle minder. I'm all set and rare to go. This is on Winter Mix 18 count by BeStitchMe. I'm finding that 18 count is some of my favorite. It's my favorite size for the most part, overall for most of my projects. And this January 1st, I started my Hate Stitch Along. I am stitching Descants, artwork by Stephanie Law, chart design by Michele, Sayetta. And it is absolutely beautiful, as you can see by the photo I put up here for you. This is a thing of many firsts. So this is the first time that I've ever done a Heaven and Earth design, or Hate. And this is also the first time I'm using gridded fabric. So I'm using 25 count gridded fabric, 2/1, tent stitch using called for DMC. It's the first time I've ever used tent stitch too. I'm loving this. So it's very faint. You could tell there's actually, I think, 5 different colors in this. So it's not just all white. I promise you that. But isn't it just gorgeous? So there's going to be a flower right here. And then over here, there's going to be like a fairy. And there's going to be more flowers right here. You can kind of start to see the outlines. So there's over 2,000 stitches in this. But yeah, so it's very intense. I absolutely love this. Here, I'll show it to you again. I think it is a beautiful and fantastic, and I can't wait to do more on it. So I'm very excited. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it this year. But I do want to at least get the 6 pages for this so that way I can get the other charts because there are a couple of them that I do want to go ahead and stitch for later or, keep for later so I may stitch them. But I love Descants because it's so ethereal and I love the fairy and I just feel like it tells a story. It's very whimsical. Totally my thing. Very cozy. So I love it. I can't wait to work on more. But I do want to go through some of my stash real quick. So I did get 2 new project bags that came from Jasmines Custom Bags, and I was so happy when they finally came. And I do totally understand and support the delay that occurred in Canada. But yeah, look, this is one of my Christmas minis, and it is mushrooms and holly with snow. It's so beautiful. I love it. It's so good. And yes, my nerd hoop is a little bit too tall for it. That's perfectly fine. If I were to take it anywhere, I'd switch out the hoop. Not a big deal, but also look at the liner. It's so cute. I love this so much. And then I also got another mini, which right now is housing the next thing I'm going to show you. But this is my Halloween mini, which has Grogu and a whole bunch of pumpkins. I absolutely love this. Jen, you did amazing. Great work. And then we have this lovely lining as well. I love it so much. And while we're talking about stash, before I show you my mostly finished, well, it's my mini finish. We'll just call it a mini finish for now because it's part of a stitch along. I also did end up going out and get a digital counter. This is not what I was expecting when I went to go get a counter so I can count stitches for those that have charts. I do want to try and keep track of my stitches this year, just to see. And it would be easier if I had like a tally counter. So that's what this is. You just press the big button and you click it every time there's a stitch that you've done. And then you reset it by clicking the little button. It's super easy. I have seen mechanical versions of this, which is what I was expecting to get. But this just came to my attention. It's super affordable. So I'm like, why not? So I have this now. And then also over the holiday, my friend Brina did go ahead and give me some awesome earrings right here. I'll be able to stitch something super cool. And I'm very excited about that. And then I got this for her, but I also got one for myself, the Stardew Valley cross stitch. I love this. I am a gamer girl at heart, and there are some little ones I would love to do a Junimo, but it's slightly too big for these earrings here. But there's like, I think I can do an emerald, or I could do like a chick or some chicken eggs or a tiny heart or something. Something Stardew Valley is going to go in here, and at some point you will see me wearing these earrings. So we'll see how it goes. But I've narrowed it down to like 4 different designs. So as soon as I make a decision, I will let you know and put them on these earrings and show you when they are completed. I'm very excited for it. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, now I want to show you. I've started my stitch along, my Stitch for Pride 2025 by D's 20 Stitches. I am so excited because this year we are doing 12 months of historical trans and non-binary figures. And our first one was Ellie Bias. And Ellie Bias was a Roman emperor, but preferred to be called a lady instead of a lord. And what I wanted to do was represent the trans individuals and the trans flag, and also kind of throw in some of what I learned with some of the reading that was provided, which was really, really cool. For instance, I learned that Ellie Bias would preferred to only sit on gold. And so, of course, I had to make this gold. I still have the needle minder on this. And here, let me take that off real quick. It's super cute needle minder. This one I got from NightStalkersCalling during the Advent calendar. Here, you can see. It's a little fuzzy, but it's pretty perfect for this. And this is my completion for January. There's going to be 11 more, and I love this so much. So I used a variegated DMC that's blue to pale, super pale blue, and then also another variegated DMC for the pink. And then what I did in the middle here is I did one strand of each. So this is actually 20 count spooky, but I used 2/1 full cross. So that way I could do a one white and a one of this blue variegated, and then a one white and one of this pink variegated. And I was playing around with the variegation. And so that way I could try to get the lighter portions up here. So it actually looks like there's a sun coming this way and you can see the highlights. I put a lot of thought into this. And then what I also wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that the color for the starting at the head was their, what they were assigned as at birth and to their preferred gender right here. So all of the figures for this, that's what I plan to do. And I'm very excited. It's really worth it. This color here was from the advent calendar of NightStalkersCalling called Grinch. And then there's this color here. I thought this looked like flowers. So Ellie Bias just loved all the pretty things and flowers everywhere. In fact, I believe that there was some point like she was only an emperor for 4 years and was very controversial. And so let's just say there's a lot of paintings depicting flowers in her throne room and court. So we'll just say that. But I love this. I think it's absolutely beautiful motif of this Roman emperor historical figure. And I cannot wait to do the other ones. But in the meantime, so I got a little obsessed with this and I didn't work on anything else. And but now that she's done, I can put her away and work on some, other things like the Hate Stitch Along. And so, and I will take her out of the hoop too after this, since I'm not going to be stitching on her again until the beginning of February. No need to put in extra wrinkles into that fabric if I don't need to. That's for sure. Now I want to talk about what I'm going to do for the rest of the month. So I wanted to do an experiment, and I have seen other Flosstubers do a spin the wheel type thing or roll the dice type thing. And I have plenty of dice. I have some really cute dice. So I'm like, I'm going to do that and see how it goes. So what I plan to do is I have a list of WIPs that I need to work on this month here in January still. And I have over half the month, which is fantastic. So I should be able to work on them all. And just things I need to do. And then every time I do a session, I will just roll the dice, figure out the next one I'm going to work on, and we're going to see how that goes. It's a grand experiment. It's January. It's the month to try new things as far as I'm concerned, and just figure out, say, yes, let's see if this works. And if it doesn't work, then what else can I do? I also have some other things I want to try maybe in February, but we'll see how this one goes. I think it could be interesting. So my next video or a couple videos may have different formats. We'll have to see how it is. But I put down the works that I want to work on. So I have Descants, which is a Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along here in 2025. Artwork by Stephanie Law, chart design by Michele Sayetta. I have A Year in the Woods, the Fox, that we already talked about. Again, by Carriage House Samplings. My WIPGO piece, my 2 WIPGO pieces, I haven't even touched those yet. So I need to do 1,000 stitches on those. And again, if 1,000 stitches proves to be too much for me in a month, then I will knock that back by half. But I kind of want to try it and see how it goes. But my first one is called Neuron City by Barbara Anna Designs. And you can find that design on the Creative Poppy website. I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I have the perfect fabric for it. Now, when I first got this fabric, I wasn't sure if it was going to be large enough to fit, because it is 1/8 of a yard. So this is called Nighttime Rainbow. It is a 14 count Ada, and that's why I was afraid that it wouldn't work, because it's only 1/8 of a count, or 1/8 of a yard, but it is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Look at this. I Love this. This is fantastic. And I actually might do it like this. Nah, no, no, no. The pink's going to be like this quote unquote sky. I think this will be very unique and just perfect for the piece. So I want to try this. And I do believe that it was one of the owners of BeStitchMe, one of their daughters that may have dyed this. So I think that's pretty cool. If I'm remembering correctly, I believe I am. So this is fun. It's almost like an acid wash, kind of in the sky there. The sky is what I'm calling it. But it should be a lot of fun and perfect for Neuron City. I did go ahead and check my fabric calculator, which I use the one on 123 Stitch fabric calculator. And according to that, it's fine. And I should have a 2-inch border. Well, a 2-inch border on one side, on like the sides, and top to bottom, I believe it's like 1.5 inches, which at this point, I can work with that because this fabric is way too perfect. So I'll figure out a way to frame it, lace it, whatever I got to do. And yeah, so I'm really excited to start that one. And then I also have the Santa's Arrival Stocking by Frenck from 2002. It's a Dimensions kit from 2002. And here's what it looks like. And this is one that my sister-in-law had requested me to do because her mother had planned to go ahead and stitch these, but her eyesight has since gotten to the point where she can't quite see the holes. So I'm going to finish this for her, and this one and 3 other stockings. So, but I need to start it. And when I was looking at this, I was afraid it was going to be full coverage, but this is on white Aida. And I believe, looking closely at the photos there, I don't even know if you can tell, but I believe that this is not. I think some of this is just the white Aida, which will be perfect. So that just means it'll get done quicker. So that's totally fine. And then also, those are my 2 WIP goes. And then I also, for a goal for this year as well, I have another stocking that I want to get done because this one is for my sister-in-law's grandmother. So yeah, my sister-in-law's husband was that stocking, and then this one's for my sister-in-law's grandmother. This is Santa's Truck Stocking. It is by Simon Treadwell. It's a kit from 2020 Dimensions, and it looks so good. I love it. It's so cute. It's got some backstitching in there, which, you know, backstitching's not my favorite, but you can't deny the results of it for a design that uses it. So, you know, that works. I think this will be so cute. And then and then of course my Art Nouveau train that I need to do as well. Where on earth did that go? Ah, there we are. So my Art Nouveau train, I took a break from it. Out you go. There we are, and I love this. It's so good. I might have to change out the needle minder a little bit here, but let me go ahead and do this. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, that's a little cumbersome. But yeah, I love it. So I've been working on this super pale yellow that goes around the top, and it'll eventually come all the way around over here. And I love this. I think it's so good. Could I have stopped at this middle part and just turned it into a full circle and finished it then? Yes, I could have, but I love it so much. It's so pretty. So yeah, this was the Christmas gift of 2024. Was the only one I didn't finish because of its size. There's actually, I think, over 7,000 stitches already done in this. This middle portion right here is completely finished on the inside. Full coverage. I love this piece, and all of the flowers and all of the pretty scrolling around here. That is what makes it Art Nouveau. So of course we have to do this. And I did show its recipient, the gift's recipient, and he absolutely loved it. So it's going to look so much better when it's done, and I cannot wait. So of course I need to work on this. That's why it's on the list. So let me show you my list here. So you can see the numbers. Descants is 1, Here in the Woods is 2, the stockings Well, Neuron City is 3, Stockings are 4 and 6, and Art Nouveau is 5. So we have it all with all their deets and everything. And I'm going to cut here. We're going to see what dice, like I'm rolling a d6. I have this beautiful dice set that I got for Christmas and for my mother-in-law. And considering she doesn't play any games involving dice or whatever, wow is all I can say. I absolutely love this. We got these translucent die here, and it's got this like pink, let's see, it's got this pink like sparkly in there. It's okay. It's not clear. It's not going to be clear for you. Sorry. But I really love these. They are fantastic. So I'm going to go roll them. I'm going to come back and we'll talk about it. Now to roll this, what I'm going to do is use my wonderful butterfly dice set that has glitter in the middle. That will sparkle when it turns because it's so cute and so pretty. Let's see what we get. Which project are we going to have to do now? And it's number 5. So it's number 5. 5, we have the Art Nouveau train. So hey, we're going to get you some love this time. So I will work on this for my next session. And whether that be, after this video or tomorrow, it's going to get a good session in, which is usually anywhere between 200 and 400 stitches, approximately. And when I'm done with this, then I'll roll again. Before I roll again, I will come back to you, probably do a new intro and all of that for my next video, and just do clips. So you'll be seeing a lot of outfits at a lot of times a day. It's very dark right now. It's in the evening. So this is a little duller, that's why. But it's, yeah, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean regarding my next Flosstube. But I am very excited that we get to be putting some love back into this Art Nouveau train here by Stitching Land. So that's all I have for cross stitch. I do have one thing for crochet. So my other sister-in-law contacted me, and she heard of this thing where you read a book, you crochet a granny square, and then at the end of the year you put them all together and you make something with them. And she wanted to do it. I'm like, shoot, yeah, I'll do that with you. That seems fun. And I think granny square, the granny stitch is super easy to learn, to learn and to stitch. So I'm like, you know what? I can do that, especially right now with all this stuff going on. It's pretty easy for me to do some granny stitches. So that's what I did. So I have, I read a trilogy. I have 2 of the 3 squares right now completed. And my first one, the first book of the trilogy is Towers by Schott, which is a super fun book. A main character starts off just on the cusp of adulthood. And so she becomes an adult, which in that time is 16 was what was agreed upon. So imagine a post-apocalyptic world where you are safe in a village or community surrounded by towers, but if you touch the barrier which keeps things out and everyone else in. So the only people that can go through the barrier without any problems were the traders, because they had special bracelets that allowed them to do so. So everyone you just don't touch the force field, basically. And then what it did is it protected you from this horrible disease that apparently in this book the government had released. But she doesn't understand a lot of that. So a lot of that comes out later, and in the second book as well, especially. So, but it's really fun. It's a really good book. I was very satisfied with it. So Towers, I have mine. What I did, here's a square. I still need to weave in the ends and all of that. And here's the granny square. And what I did is I focused on the color of the coat of the main character on the cover. So we did brown coat. We did kind of this like yellow variegated thing for the fields, and then this bright blue for the sky. It was a very fun cover and bright. So this is my first square and I love it. It's so cute. And then the second book, which is the first sequel, it's called Ghost, also by Schott. And so with Ghost, she's out of the village and she's trying to figure out what is going on. She's with her parents, at least at first, and basically ends up going to a military outpost. Although she doesn't realize what all that means at the time, so she's learning as she goes. Yeah, it's really fun. But again, I stuck with the same theme where I did the center here as the coat. So the coat is black in this one. We have this kind of white, blue, misty, there's like a fog thing. So that's what I went with. And then we have the gray of the sky, which I think is supposed to show that it's life outside of the villages. But yeah, the coats are really, really important. For instance, the black is the mark of the ghost. The ghost is like a title for a special operative. And of course her jacket from the first one was brown because she was just a normal villager at that point. She's just a citizen doing what she could. So there's two. And I know I have to be careful with weights and stuff like that. I might actually redo the last two, like this gray part, because it's got cute little flecks in it too. I don't know if you can see them, but there's like little brownish flecks. But this was too big. Comparatively speaking, I mean, you can see it is way too big. So I think what I may do is frog or rip out the gray and do it again in a smaller hook to kind of help, because this is a lot flimsier than these. So the tension is different, and I'm aware of that. It's also been I think at least 2 years since I've last crocheted. So yeah. So I still have much practice, but I'm using different yarns, different weights on some of them. It's bound to happen. There's going to be some irregularities, but I refuse to completely stretch this one out. So I'm either going to add something to this or take this out and do it again. But let's see what the third one ends up like. So if I get that done, then I will show you all that later. But so that's just a fun thing that I've been doing. That is everything I have right now for my arts and crafts, for my cross stitch. I'm really excited to get working on Art Nouveau train again. So that is going to be super fun. So that's all I have here for you today. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. They certainly help out the Flosstube. And I just want to say you've been absolutely amazing. Keep your eyes peeled for a Flosstube extra. They'll be coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Should be a collab, so I'm very excited about it. And remember, my cottage is always open. Bye-bye for now.